I knew something big was going to happen today. I knew it. And I was sort of wrong because not only did something big happen today, two big developments. Hello, my fam. It is Perez, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and your number one source for everything It Ends With Us saga. Justin Baldoni, in the bitter lawsuit against Blake Lives Matter, has requested her medical records now. We're still in the subpoena and discovery phase, and Team Baldoni / Wayfarer thinks that her medical records are very relevant to this case. No! As a direct result of that request, Blake Lively has withdrawn her claims against him for intentional infliction of emotional distress and negligent infliction of emotional distress, thus making her case weaker. Yay! Let's get into this. Lawyers for Baldoni just sent a letter to the judge because the parties are bickering over these latest developments. Team Baldoni Wayfarer is asking the judge to compel, quote, Blake Lively to identify her medical and mental health care providers, to produce her mental health records, and to deliver to the Wayfarer parties the necessary, duly executed HIPAA authorizations permitting them to obtain Miss Lively's medical and mental health care records from her providers. They allege the health-related information is highly relevant to Miss Lively's 10th cause of action for intentional infliction of emotional distress and her 11th cause of action for negligent infliction of emotional distress, collectively the IED claims. Infliction of emotional distress, intentional and negligent. Instead of complying with the medical RFP's request for production, Miss Lively's counsel recently advised us in writing that Miss Lively is withdrawing her IED claims. However, Miss Lively has refused the Wayfarer party's reasonable request that the withdrawal of such claims be with prejudice. With prejudice means dismissed permanently, done with this issue for good. But Team Baldoni Wayfarer says she is only willing to withdraw her claims without prejudice. In other words, Miss Lively wants to simultaneously A, refuse to disclose the information and documents needed to disprove that she suffered any emotional distress and or that the Wayfarer parties were the cause, and B, maintain the right to refile her IED claims at an unknown time in this or some other court after the discovery window has closed. And that's the key. After the discovery window has closed, right? We're in discovery now, as I told y'all. Miss Lively cannot have it both ways. If Miss Lively wants to withdraw her frivolous IED claims, as we established, that means infliction of emotional distress, negligent and intentional. If she wants to withdraw those claims, the Wayfarer parties are entitled to a dismissal with prejudice to ensure they will not be refiled. If Miss Lively is unwilling to stipulate to the dismissal of her IED claims with prejudice, then the Wayfarer parties will continue to defend against them, and she must produce her medical information and documents as set forth herein. In her complaint, Miss Lively claims that the Wayfarer parties' alleged misconduct severely impacted her physical, psychological, and emotional well-being. Moreover, Miss Lively repeatedly alleges that she has suffered and continues to suffer substantial damages, including but not limited to severe emotional distress and pain, humiliation, embarrassment, belittlement, frustration, and mental anguish. In addition to her claims of sexual harassment and retaliation, Miss Lively's amended complaint asserts claims for intentional infliction of emotional distress and for negligent infliction of emotional distress. These are not merely garden variety claims for emotional distress. Given these claims, the Wayfarer party sought her medical records. Makes sense to me. They claim that this information is routinely exchanged in cases involving claims for physical and emotional injuries. They are seeking the names of her providers, all reports and treatment notes of those physicians and health and mental care providers who have treated or examined her for alleged emotional distress. And they want the HIPAA authorization that gives them the ability to get all of this information. Then, in this very well-written and smart letter, they say, by alleging that she suffered physical and emotional injuries, Miss Lively has placed her physical and mental condition at issue and, in turn, must produce relevant information and documents. And then they cite the law and cases backing up this claim. In other words, she has waived any doctor-patient privilege because of the claims made against him. Because, not just of those claims, but also because she's not willing to withdraw them with prejudice. She's keeping the door open to potentially bringing these claims up again at some point in the future. And they don't want that. Smartly. Baldoni's lawyers reveal in this letter that on May 28th, both legal teams discussed by phone her objections to the medical RFPs, the request for information. They cited the legal authorities supporting their position why she should be compelled to submit all of that and requested that her counsel reconsider its objections to disclosure. Thereafter, Miss Lively's counsel notified us that given her obligation to provide the Wayfarer parties with her medical information and records in support of her IED claims, Miss Lively is electing to withdraw her IED claims. In other words, this is so good. Rather than substantiating her IED claims, Miss Lively is abandoning them. Probably because the medical records prove nothing. She probably didn't get treated for emotional this, hurt, that, nothing. You know what I mean? Now they're complaining to the judge about them not wanting to dismiss these claims with prejudice. Ms. Lively's counsel has refused to sign the stipulation and file it with the court. So if that's the case, she hasn't withdrawn the claims. Oh no, it gets even shadier. Instead, Miss Lively's counsel edited the proposed stipulation to weaken it so that the dismissal of her IED claims would be without prejudice. Although we are amenable to Miss Lively's offer to withdraw her meritless IED claims, the Wayfarer parties cannot agree to any withdrawal that enables Miss Lively to refile them. After spending much of Friday and even Saturday attempting to further meet and confer via email and providing supporting authority only to receive an insufficient revised stipulation in return, we have made good faith determination that continued efforts will not be fruitful and respectfully seek the intervention of this court. If Miss Lively wants to pursue her IED claims against the Wayfarer parties, she must do so here now and provide them with the requisite medical information and documents. We respectfully request that the court grant the motion and direct Miss Lively to 1. Disclose the names and addresses of the medical and mental health care providers that treated and or examined her for alleged emotional distress. 2. Produce all reports and or treatments, notes of those physicians and mental health and health care providers who have treated and or examined her for alleged emotional distress. And 3, deliver duly executed HIPAA forms for her medical and psychiatric records for the last 4 years. So the motion is compel her to share all of this. What a day. Oh, I am chef's kiss. Thoughts on all that we've learned? Let's discuss it in the comment section.